All right, so we got a recording taking place. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our weekly Zoom of the Obsidian family. I'd like to welcome everybody who's here today. And Shinakana is good evening, so I guess you're. Which country are you watching us from? Watching us from? And first of all, can you hear me clearly? I'm using another computer, so there you go. All right. Good. I'm glad that everybody can hear. This is recorded, but obviously being here gives you the opportunity to be able to do Q&A and ask specific questions that are pertinent to you. And then everybody else will just have to just listen and, yeah, my pleasure options. So what I want to do today is actually kind of go back to the basics and actually focus on the Obsidian Suite. Now, as you may have noticed, there are three different things, and sometimes there's confusion as to which is which. The Dark Diamond Trend Sniper, the DDTS, is just the indicator. You know, it gives you the buy sell signals like the Futures Pro does. So the Futures Pro on TradingView is basically the an offshoot or the twin in NinjaTrader. Now, what's different is that we have the Autotrader DDTS, and that one automatically puts you into trades. And that is the main engine that drives everything, that sets us apart, that makes Obsidian so amazing. And whether you have the suite or just the Autotrader, that auto trading mechanism is available to both of them. Okay. Now, what is the suite? The suite basically gives you everything that you need to such a point where you don't necessarily have to open 4 or 5 different charts and then have the short-term, medium, long-term range. Some people use that. I know Eduardo uses that a lot. And you're welcome to do that, but just keep in mind that it is very power intensive to such a point that his computer was freezing up, and he'll be getting a laptop, I think this coming Monday or next Monday, delivered to him, so that way he has enough power to be able to run the way he wants it to run. Okay, so what I want to do is basically give you Sinakana is Herman. Great. I'm glad that you joined us. Herman, please meet Tommy. Tommy, Herman, love to connect you guys and see if Tommy can help you a little more in depth, okay? Because he really knows this stuff. So what I wanted to do today is kind of go and cover every aspect of the suite and what it does for you. So first and foremost, when you go to the indicators, whether it's just the ADDTS or the suite, everything would come into this folder and you'll have it all in here. Unfortunately, I got version 1.1 and 1.2 all mixed up, and can't figure out how to get rid of 1.1. So I just have it all together. Okay. And so you have it all in here. And so all you have to do is just basically click one after the other and be able to use that. Okay. So let me explain what Playback is versus the ADDTS right here. What the trend filter does in general. We won't go too deep into it because we've had previous videos that goes deep into it. Okay, that's the trend filter. And then we have the regular DDTS, moving average suite. Okay, so this is something that is quite neat and very, very manageable. So we'll go over that. Overwatch as well as Delta Flow and News Alert. So let's start with News Alert because that's the easiest one. Okay. News Alert, right now we don't have much because it's on the weekend, but typically all the news that has to do, like for example, if you're trading the London time, you will get all the London news alerts right in here. And that's very helpful because after each news, the market will move one way or the other. And sometimes it's good to be prepared. But for the New York session, obviously you get all the news that's popped up here. Now, granted, you can go to, for example, I used to go to fx.com all the time. Where is FX? Here you go. And I will get the news in here, okay? And then go back and forth, back and forth. There have been several times where I forget that pending news is coming along, and so having the news right here, okay, and have it listed, and it also gives you the yellow folder, the what's the middle color, the orangish folder, and then the red folder, so you know that the red one especially is going to give you um, a major impact on the price movement, whereas the yellow one may do it unless it's like a really big news. And one good thing about having the news alert right here, okay, so these are all things that come with the suite. It's just all in one. Everything that you need is just boom right there, right out of the box. You're good to go, right? So the good thing about the news is that even via voice, it'll tell you, CPI coming, coming soon, imminent in 5 minutes, CPI coming soon, and that especially was very, very helpful this past Tuesday when CPI was coming out. I had the bot on, and basically the moment the news came out, which was like, whoa, nobody expected it, the Autotrader got into that trade within 6 seconds of it. Okay, so yeah, John, I know it's you. News is in the background. This distracting. Um, yeah, that's the new alert. But the news that we're hearing in the background is actually Tick Strike. That's another one that I use. Where's Tick Strike? Not Tick, excuse me. It's the financial juice. Okay, so this gives you the most updated information uh, moving forward and stuff like that. So that gets annoying. So I actually pushed it over to my laptop so it doesn't blare right into the live trading room. Um, so that works in conjunction, but when something like that comes about, you can have the bot on and just watch where it goes. Okay, now some of the news will be very, very choppy and you'll get stopped out. Okay, especially if you are using an ATM. Okay, so if you don't want to get stopped out, don't use an ATM. Okay, but then there are pluses and minuses regarding that. Anyway, um, the news, it's great to have it right there. um, you know what's coming up. If the market is flat, you look at the news and you go, oh, okay, that's why it's flat there. Everybody is kind of like on autopilot mode until the news comes out, and that's when they're going to start acting. Okay, and so what you can do is actually wait uh, 5 minutes after the news in order for you to have the Autotrader. You can have it disarmed, and then you can arm it at that point, right? Wait, hold on. Yeah, this is a sim, so since it's a sim, we'll have it on like that. Okay. Um, So when a news is about to come out, and um, you don't want to be part of it, you can disarm it. Okay. With CPI, because everybody was expecting it to be, yeah, it's going to be cooler. Okay. Uh, but I had a feeling that it's going to move. Now it was going to move in down or up. So I decided to just leave it armed, and sure enough, that's what made it pay off so well. So the news helps. Okay, had I not known that the news was there, I would not have been able to be prepped for it and be ready to run with it. Right. So that is key. All right, let's see if we can play sound. Yeah, let's get rid of the sound, so that way that doesn't get into our conversations. Okay, so that is the news. All right, the next one is the moving averages, and this is the moving averages. Okay, you basically have I believe 10 bands. So let's take a look. So that's the news alert. The moving average suite. Actually, there are 16 moving averages. Okay. The exponential, it can be set up as exponential, whole, simple, or weighted. Okay. I won't go into the explanations of these. The default is exponential. Okay. And it's basically broken down into, every 10. Okay. So that way it kind of creates sort of like a flag that is unfurling or um, getting twisted and things like that. So as it gets wider, you know that it's going to be bullish, and obviously everything is green, so you know it's going to be bullish. Okay. Um, Another thing about the moving average suites that's helpful is that when they get balled up like this and get narrower, narrower and narrower, that's when you want to turn off the bot and not have it go in, because this is where you are in a consolidation mode. Okay, so you'll have the buys and the sells and the buys and the sells and things like that. So you want to be able to avoid that. And then once things start moving, okay, and it starts expanding, it goes from 2 lines to 3 lines or so. This is where you probably want to turn it on, okay, and then have it continually trade. Until then, you can actually have it disarmed like that, okay. But the more it unfurls, the more movement there is in the market. And the moment it starts twisting around, that's when you know that the market is turning. Like over here, um, this is where the red starts showing up. And at that point, you already, so just from a perfunctory basis, if you like to see flags to kind of indicate what direction it's going, you're already seeing the colors kind of overlap and change into red. You have the PTC short sign happening right here, and it would have entered you right there. Okay, so that would have been your entry. Okay, and that corresponds really well with the ADDTS trend filter. Okay, and the trend filter here is red, and so therefore this is a good entry. Okay, this is again, I would just call it an A- entry at this juncture, because I don't know what Overwatch was doing at that time. My A+ entries are the following. Okay, so there is definitely a reversal taking place, and then you see red, red, red. At this point, um, I've come to a point where I'm kind of recognizing it as like, is this a retracement or is this going to drop? And more than likely, we were at a resistance. Yeah, 930 was one of the resistance on NQ. And so because it came real close to it and we're going away from it, not even touching it, you knew that this was going to go short, okay? So at this juncture, I was like, okay, the trend filter down here is red. This is red 3 times in a row. And more than likely, Overwatch was starting to turn red. UVXY was starting to turn green. These things started to turn red. Okay. Now, please understand that if we were to do this during live trade, and you'll see me doing this during live trade once I begin the Futures for Beginners channel again. I may do that maybe this coming week, or maybe starting next week. I'll let you know. But at this juncture, okay, you would have been armed. Okay, so if you see something like this, right, and it's been long and now it's going short, you can actively do this. You go from disarmed to armed. You could actually just say, hey, you know what? Sorry. You know what? We're not going to go long here. Let's look for a short entry and do something like this. And the bot would have entered you right here at 90950. And you could have taken it down. Here's your confirmation. So if you had a confirmation filter on, it would have put you in a little bit later, okay? But you're definitely confirmed in a confirmed downward trend, okay? And this thing would have taken you all the way down. And the moment it passes, all the flags right here, that's a good indication that it will continue dropping until it hits its support level, which I believe 70 actually I think was a support, if I recall correctly. But it started turning around here. And as a matter of fact, actually, even with the upward movement, you had 4 bars and then a down, 2 bars and then a down, and it came really close. 72 versus 158.70. Okay, so you could have closed it here if you were like, okay, we're not going to go any further down and I'm happy with the returns. Or you could have waited until this came about right here. Now, when that happens, right, you got to remember to go back over here and turn this on. I forgot this one time today and I completely missed out on a blade early in the morning. I was so mad. But that's what happens when you don't pay attention. So if you're not going to remember to do that, just keep it on like this, right? It would have taken you out either here or here. Either way, you would have been good for a huge return of, let's say, 90, like from 909 all the way down to, where would it have taken you out? What is that? 884. Or if you were off on this one, you would have gotten out at 882. So between 82 to 84, the bot would have taken you out. Sorry, actually, it would have taken you out here on this one, 888. Okay, so you would have caught this. Now, the bot would have gotten you in long. This would have been a losing trade. This right here would have been a losing trade. This coming back up, if not break even, a losing trade. And then this would have been a losing trade. And then finally, this one over here would have taken you to profit. Okay, so please understand there are winners and losers. And the key is keep your losses small and your winners big. So let the winners be able to run and let the losers just cut them short. Okay, so never move your stop loss. That's one of the rules. Alrighty, so there can be another whole lesson on how to use the moving averages. Okay, it is customizable, and I may just create a short video just explaining this and post it up for you guys to use it. But you can play around with it, okay? And some people prefer, when they do this, some people prefer just using about 4 or 5 of the moving averages. And some people just prefer actually the weighed one, okay? Because this is based on volume as well as price, not just, actually weight and explanation are fairly close. I am not familiar with Hull, so I can't speak into it, but simple, you know what that is, right? So you can get rid of a bunch of them, keep it the same way, totally up to you, but it is customizable according to your needs. Alrighty, so that is the moving averages suite. Okay, it also makes it look nicer. Okay, now the trend filter. The trend filter comes in automatically as, so you can go to the panel and change it here instead of going to the indicators, right? The trend filter, the automatic is a 50, but if you're trading MNQ, you may want to be wanting to do 26 right there. Okay. I keep it at 50. And there you go. There's a change. What does that do? Yeah, so you'll see the trend change quicker that way. But it's either 26 for sniping or 50 for swing trading, and I'll keep it that simple. Okay, now touching base on Overwatch again. Okay, so in the chart we are viewing a template you can export. Yes, options. It also suggests, yes, there is. Okay, so I won't go too deep into it, but there are suggestions. As a matter of fact, on Live Trade, I posted one of the suggestions for ES. And if you go to ATM strategies in Discord, you will see a whole bunch of listings from different people in terms of the ATMs that they use. Okay, so ATMs, please keep in mind that each and every day is a different market condition, and in some days one will work better than another. Okay, so on my thing, do I have it on this one? No, I have it on the other computer. I have different ATMs based upon what I am trading, as well as whether or not it's choppy or very trendy. Okay, so oh, it went into a trade. Great. Okay. Now, just to cover the Overwatch again, when everything works out over here, right? And even if the bot happens to put me into a trade, okay, I would go in with one, right? But if Overwatch, for example, gives me the A+ setup, where I see all green from Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, Google, Netflix, which is your magnificent 7+1. NQ and ES is also green with double digits. See how this changes? Okay, you have a -10 right now. These change in number. Okay, so typically you want to have a +30 or above on multiple of them to consider an A+ setup. If it's all of them is 30+, you know, all the merrier. Okay, when all of these are green, UVXY, which is the VIX ETF, this needs to be red. So what I need to see is either really red right here and then everything green, or really green and then everything red. When that happens, that becomes an A+ setup for me, especially when it has entered me into a trade. And when it has entered me into a trade, is this a buy or sell that was put in? That's a sell, right? So if we had a whole bunch of volume coming in, okay, because this measures the ticks that are coming in, right? And it's an A+ setup right here, okay? I would just go in and double it, okay? Sometimes quadruple it if it's, bouncing off of the key level like right over here, okay? Then I will double it, okay? But if I'm going to add additional ones, my rule of thumb, write this down, my rule of thumb is 40 ticks. So when this right here shows 40 plus, and I see great momentum, I still see Overwatch not changing and continually pushing it down, right? It's all red and UVXY is green. I may add another one, okay, and size up, and I will average up that way. Okay, so the rule of thumb for futures trading is do not average down. That's for stocks long term. Okay, for intraday trading that we do, it needs to be the opposite. When there is powerful momentum, you want to be able to average up. Okay, and the reason I say 40 plus is because you're able to move your stop loss into a profit stop, okay, and let it ride. So if it comes back and bites you, you didn't make as much money had you just left it alone. But you know what? Green is green. But what you're going for is for that home run. That's what I like to do. I'm not a sniper. I'm an intraday swinger. And when I see 40 plus ticks and I add it, okay, so it averages this down to like maybe like a 32, 33. And then I keep on seeing it go up back to 40, to 45, and it keeps on moving. I may add another one if I feel like, so we're going short, right? And I feel like it's going to go down to 850, okay, but we're barely here and it keeps on dropping. I may add another one, okay? I may be wrong, but I will add it at 40 plus because I can move my stop, okay? So this is how you move the stop. I can manually move my stop into a profit stop, not a stop loss, but into a profit stop. So that way is a stress-free trade, okay? So for me, how do I size up? How do I make sure that, like, for example, here we go. Like today, for example, I qualified for the Buell Knox 50K. I went way over. By the time I clicked close, in that delay, it just went over. So I'll take it. And the reason I was able to do that was because I was able to size up. Okay. And Tick Strike, which is the audible Overwatch, along with Overwatch, along with the trend filter, along the fact that the bot put me into the trade as a short or long, okay, it became an A+ setup for me. I'm looking at my charts here. I'm looking at here. I'm looking at this Orenko settings here. I'm looking at the trend filter. I'm looking at this. And, in the beginning, it's overwhelming. But after a while, you'll be able to just look and go boom, 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 and then say A+. And then you just start sizing up. And you go, let me add another one. Oh, let me add another one. And be able to trade it like that. That's how you're going to be able to hit a home run. Okay. So that's why The AutoTrader is a tool for entry, but you need to manage its exit, and you need to manage your sizing up into it, especially when it's a winner. Okay, so all of these things play into it. Tick Strike is a third party. I pay for that separately. To me, it's worth it. Okay, and it gives me the same information that Overwatch does. Really, it does. But the only difference about it is it's audible, which eventually will have an audible one. Okay, but for now, it's not. It's visible, and really, that's all you need. Okay, I mean, why do you need to hear an annoying sound when you see all of these panels turning green, UVXY is red, or vice versa? Okay, the moment you see it, you're taking a glance here, 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 A plus, and then you size up. Okay, and so when you size up, you're also moving your stop into a profit stop, and you're continually moving it. Okay, and until you come to here, where you really want to get very narrow, within 4 ticks, 6 ticks, 10 ticks, 12 ticks. It's up to you, but you move it according to what you feel will give you enough room for a slight pullback before it continues going down. That is an art form. That comes by experience. That comes by you continually trading. Alrighty, so we've covered the trend filter. We've covered the Overwatch, the news. This one, all right. Let's go over quickly ATMs and this setup. So for example, let me go to ES, for example. And for ES, I've been working on a new setup, and so far it has been working for me. 2 new, okay? But my setup is a Orenko 2, 4, and 8. So the question is, well, I don't have 2, 4, and 8. What do I do? Easy. You come to the select button, you click configure, you go all the way down to Orenko, and then you add, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to do 2, 4, 8. Click OK. And apply. OK. Now, when you go to select, there it is. Oh, it's just called 2. Okay. So that when I go and choose this one, then I know it's a 2, 4, and 8. And all of a sudden, voila, the Orenko changes. Okay. So now, what I'm doing is I'm doing this. I'm letting it enter. Oh, by the way, remind me to talk about quantity safety if I forget. Okay, so I'll leave this on. Let's talk about an ATM. Okay, so for ES, I like to use an ATM because I want it to do what I would usually do manually, but faster. Okay, so I would go into where did I do? Okay, so the new setup, no, I don't want to remove. The new setup that I started with ES actually is having 2, and the trail would be set up this way. Actually, this is off. Okay, I would have it at a 12 tick stop loss. That's 3 points. Once it hits 3 points, and I took a hit, I'm out. Okay, I'll gladly get out. Okay, and my profit taking, I really don't need this because that's the profit taking. Okay, once it hits the other 12, this clears out. So I got 3 points on it. Okay, which 3 points on ES, trading, mini ES, not micros. How much is that per contract? Anybody know? Type it in. Trigger 4. Let me do 2. Stop loss. Boom, 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 boom. And this is going to be my two ES. Voila. Boom. Okay. So now this is my setup. Okay, for ES. I've been using this and again actively managing it to, number one, make sure that I get 3 points from one. And when that happens, the second contract automatically pops into a profit stop. Now, I only have 8 ticks, but you know what? If it's a super trend, I'm going to continue into this trend for quite a while. Today, actually, I went to get a haircut, grabbed lunch, and by the time I came back, and that was 4 contracts, by the way. No, sorry, 2 contracts as well. And I was up $550. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome, fantastic. So that 248 worked out for me that particular afternoon. Okay. So what this does, it allows me to have a very limited loss potential, which is 3 points each on 2 contracts. Okay, so it's $12.50 per tick per contract, which brings it to $50 per point. So when it's 2 contracts, the moment I enter, I already know what I'm going to lose. Worst case scenario is I'm going to lose $300. Number one, because I'm not going to move my stop loss. And number two, based upon the size of the contract, I'm trying to pass now. So I already passed multiple 50K evals. Now I want to pass a 250K eval. So with Apex having their Thanksgiving sale again at 90%, I said, you know what? Let me do it. So I'm trading ES on the 250K and I'm trying to do it. So now that I have $6,500 of threshold, each trade that I lose, the maximum I will lose is 300. Okay. Sometimes I will lose 100. Sometimes I'll break even. And if I got in the right place, or the bot got me in the right place, then I should be able to hit both my 3 points on that one contract and however long the other one will take me, whether it'll be a profit stop or another 3 points or 8 points, whatever it is. At least it leaves the cap open for me to be able to chase it as far as it will take it. Okay, so this is what I'm working off right now. It has been working thus far. I've made some early mistakes early on because I got into not so A+ setups. So key thing is looking for the A+ setup. And the A+ setup, the key thing is having Overwatch. This really helps. Not only the trend filter, but the Overwatch. Because when I see all green and the red, that's all volume coming in. That is the ticks that are coming in, and whether it's a buy or sells that are coming in. Okay, so to me, that kind of completes it. Okay, so that's that for ES. Now for NQ or MNQ, the default is 1640.80 right here. Okay. But today I was using the 8/16/40 as a basis for it, and I was using the 30 trail. Okay, so my stop is at 42 on each one. Okay, so you multiply. So can somebody figure out for me what 42 ticks is in one NQ contract? Okay, so the first one, my profit target is 30 ticks, which is very, very doable on NQ because it moves like crazy. And then the second one, I want to let it run with this particular stop strategy. Okay, so this one is, I believe, posted on the live trading room. Okay, so if you look on the chats, you'll be able to find it. All right, 210 bucks. Okay, so the maximum that I will lose is 420, which I rarely lose that because I'm looking for the A+ setups. But if it happens to go the wrong way and I lose it, then I know that's the loss that I took. Okay. This is my wife calling me. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Okay, she hung up. So, yeah, because typically I'm supposed to answer no matter what because she's the wife, and if she calls me twice, then you know it's important. So, that's the NQ and ES basic setup that I'm presently using thus far. They're not foolproof. They're not money printing machines. It is a tool. Okay, no matter what setup that you use. Okay, somebody was actually doing I think it was Blues Girl who prefers to do the 1 hour and 4 hour charts. Okay, if you do 1 hour, 4 hour, the 3260, what is it? Yeah, the 32 60/80 is the setup to work with. Okay, and in spite of all this crazy choppiness, look at what it would have done. Now this one, when you do this, you cannot have an ATM because it'll kick you out. Okay, but the beauty of this is the fact that here is your arrow. It would have put you in here, and it would have taken you all the way here. 940 was definitely a resistance level. So when it started dropping to about 920, that's what you would get out. Okay, so you would have written this from 1120 all the way till 2 o'clock, 2:20. Okay, that's a 3-hour run that you could have just let it go and let it run. And in no place did you really have a sell signal until you actually came here. So if you let the bot do its own thing, you would have still made money there. Now this one would have been from 8:59 and closing it around right here, 9:01. That's great. That's fantastic, especially in a choppy market like today. Okay, the 32 would have worked, but with the 32, you need to know how to read 4-hour, 1 hour candles. And if you are familiar with ICT, that's a bigger help. And if you know the strat system, which by the way, that video is available in our education and resources tab on Discord. Watch the Sarah Strat Sniper, and she explains it really, really well, and you can learn a lot from that. You need to have that concept in advance, because the moment you enter, you're really looking for a target, okay? And if you are looking for a target, and actually even before it goes up all the way here, by the time it hit 920 right there, you would have probably put a profit target at this juncture, and would have gotten out at this spot right here, because it's one of the fib levels. Okay, so this is how to do intraday trading. Okay, that's a whole nother lesson for a different time, but for now I just want to keep it at that. So we have that. What else do we have? Okay, how do you recognize choppiness? If you have moving averages, geez, let me go back to 8/16/40. If you want to recognize choppiness, what you need to do is basically look at, and this is what makes it easy to see, is that you can recognize it by looking at how narrow the bands get. Okay, like especially like right over here, it got really, really narrow for a while. This is consolidation, and this is where you can recognize it and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to let the bot trade, because the bot is going to get me in trouble at that juncture. Okay. But if you're not using the moving average suite, which again, it's there. You don't have to use it, but it's there. How do you get to have the stocks watch to be shown on the Overwatch? Do you need to integrate with your other stockbroker? Yes, you do. I have TD Ameritrade, and so I connect it through that. So you would have on the connections. Oh, I don't have it on. I have it on the other computer. That's the other thing. You can't have it on multiple computers. You have to have it on one. So I would have on the other one, I have Apex and then TD Ameritrade. Okay. And TD Ameritrade will allow the stocks to be able to show its movements. Now, if you don't have that, you can just have a whole bunch of the futures, and you don't need a second connection from a stockbroker, because NinjaTrader will automatically provide that. All right. Quantity safety. Okay. How many of you here have had any problems with like after a big news like CPI, or early in the morning when the market is like super duper busy and you're using a copy trader? How many of you had an issue where you put in for one contract and somehow you got stuck with 8, 10, 20, 40 contracts, and you lost a lot of money, or sometimes you made a lot of money because you got lucky, or even blew up your evaluation or PA? Anybody? Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Every day on the Apex Facebook group, I see that. Now, you don't hear much of that with TopStep or Buellnox or all the others, because their servers are not maxed out the way Apex is. But of course, Apex will say, oh, it's not our fault. You know, that's something with Rhythmic. Rhythmic will go, no, 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 that's a Ninja problem. Ninja will say, no, 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 it's your copy trader problem. And they go back and forth. Okay. So that's the challenge that you have. Okay. So, and how many times when you try to shut it down, you couldn't. You go over here, you try to close it, you can't close it. Then what are you supposed to do? You go here, and you're supposed to go to positions, and then right click it and then flatten everything. And that doesn't work. So what are you supposed to do then? You're supposed to go to Rhythmic, go to your open positions and close each and every one. Okay. Well, what happens if that doesn't work? Which I've had that happen. Rhythmic doesn't even work. For Apex, you get to go to their website and click their tab where it says flatten everything. Okay. But by the time you do that, 30 seconds to a minute has passed by. And when you have 40, 80 contracts open on a 50,000 K eval, okay, either you either you qualified or you blew your account, okay. And with an eval, it's fine, 90% off, no biggie, okay. But when it's a PA, ouch. Not only have you lost the $3,000 to $4,000 inside that account, you have also lost the PA activation fee of $145. That is just crazy. Oh, Kyle, you've seen it on Bullnox? Yeah. So if anybody can beat my story of blowing up 19 PAs, raise your hand. Okay. Kyle, our brilliant man here, has put this little button called quantity safety. And so what happens is that if, as long as you have quantity safety, you cannot size up unless you purposely turn it off, okay? Because if you do size up accidentally, guess what happens? It automatically flattens. It disarms, it flattens, everything shuts down instantaneously, which is frustrating because I keep forgetting that I have this quantity safety button on, and eventually I'll get it, okay? But here's the beauty of it. You will, outside of phantom trades that are left there, okay? And that happens when you get into a trade and you move your stop loss or your profit targets, okay? It could potentially happen, okay? So when you close, you really have to double check everything before you close, you know, on all of your accounts, okay?
Yeah, one thing I want to mention about the quantity safety. Now,
Yeah.
when it flattens, it goes by the quantity detection. Now, one problem with that would be, all right, if your copy trader copied several hundred orders and replicated them over and over, what's going to happen is every time they get filled, they're going to get flattened out, and that's going to eat you up on commission. So you can take a nasty loss. Like, say you got 100 orders with the commission being flattened out, and maybe a tick or so slippage. It could still be bad. But I am looking into a way to cancel those orders before they reach the initialized state, in an outside extra layer of security where I'm going to make a risk management tool. But the thing is, there's no way to really do it on NinjaTrader. What you can do is you can cancel the orders before they're initialized. But if they get to that initialized state, they're going to get filled, and then they need to be flattened out. But I'm potentially, like, if I can't figure out some type of workaround to get it on the NinjaTrader side,
Mhm.
I'm looking into maybe a plugin for Rhythmic, because any order rejections need to be handled on the broker side through like, it all depends on what your brokerage is. Now, if you have like NinjaTrader brokerage accounts, you can create that
Yeah.
risk where it rejects the orders before it's initialized, but that needs to be handled on the broker side. From NinjaTrader, the most you can do is cancel the orders before they're initialized, but if they get to that initialized state, they're going to get filled on the broker's end.
Well, that's definitely worst case scenario. But I like the fact that at least from our end, from Ninja's side, it disarms and it flattens it. So since then, I mean, I haven't had an issue of having multiple trades going in and constantly multiplying, because the quantity safety is there. And any time that it did that, and I think one time it did that, it flattened it, and it did not go. And it, in other words, it did not keep sending trades into Apex. So it has saved me already. Okay, so understand what Kyle is saying. It's not foolproof. It does not protect you from phantom trades where the price keeps on moving, and if there's a orphan trade out there that's been left on one of the accounts that is your typically the slave account, right? And it is happens to be two contracts, okay? The quantity safety is not going to flatten it because it's two contracts. It has to be anything above that number in order for it to flatten.
Now, a case where that can happen, you can have all the flatten function cancels all orders on NinjaTrader side, but if there are pending orders left on the broker server side, they can still fill. So be aware of that.
So
Also,
all
if
that
any,
to say, man, you're for somebody who created this thing, you're awfully bad blanket, Kyle.
well,
So
I'm just letting you know.
to be safe,
I'm working on making it
understood.
better.
So to be safe, you do have this protection, which will cover 98% of potential problems. Okay, but for that, there is that 2% chance that worst case scenarios will happen. So still, you need to double check Rhythmic. You need to double check Apex, and just hit the flatten button anyway. Just make sure everything is clear. Okay, everything is cleaned up. Everything is clear. Those of you who are using Tradeovate, also, if you're using a trail that you have manually put in, okay, and especially if it's a PA, before the market closes, you need to go in there and you need to click, clear all orders. Make sure that there's no pending order, because if you close your book and you're done at 11 o'clock, and then at 3:30, let's say, a order clicks in because it hit that particular price, and that thing is open past 5:55 p.m. Well, guess what's going to happen? Your PA is going to be what's the word, blown or disqualified? Well, whatever. Apex is just basically going to ban you from ever using that, and that thing is gone. So you're going to lose 160 bucks, 145 bucks, because there was that leftover open order that got filled. Okay, so with evals, they automatically close it, but with PAs, please keep in mind that they do not do that for you. You have to always manually close it. Please put it in your book as a checklist. So a checklist before you start, okay? And especially if you have a copy trader, the checklist is which one are the masters, which ones are the slaves, okay? And make sure they don't overlap. Replicanto actually helps in not doing that. Whereas Apex is still a little behind on that. But definitely have a checklist of these are the things I need to have open. Okay, open trading view. Look at the levels of overnight and what am I looking at? Here's a inverse, potential inverse head and shoulders. Okay, and you go there. Okay, Kyle has just posted where to look for in Rhythmic. Okay, and then after you finish trading, okay, don't just leave the table with all the plates left on the dining room table, clean up after yourselves, okay? So have a checklist and make sure that there are no open orders anywhere. Trade evade, rhythmic, whatever it is, just make sure everything is clear so that you will have no problems whatsoever with your PAs getting blown, okay? Like, you don't want to have 5 or 10 PAs just be blown overnight through no fault of your own because, it just happened to hit a rule. Well, in a sense, it is your fault because there was the rule, you knew the rule, you signed for the rule, and you blew it because you were careless. So it's on you, okay? They're not going to buy that excuse. They are not going to excuse it, and they're going to say sorry, and they're going to take your money, and they're going to force you to start all over again, okay? Are there cases of exceptions that Apex may have made? Whether they have made it or not, don't be in a position of being at the mercy of Apex, okay? As far as it depends on you, you need to make sure that you've done your part. You've done your job, okay? If you're in a regular job and there are certain things that you have to clean up and lock up before you leave, and you close up the store, you need to do it. If you forgot to lock the door and a thief comes in through the back, you think the boss is gonna, just let you off with it and say, hey, don't worry about it. Don't do that next time. No, you probably will get fired. Okay, you have to take it seriously. Enough said. So, hate to be, the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you're using, uh, other companies' money. Okay. So, what else was I going to cover? Oh, Delta order flow right here. With the Delta order flow, which is actually, let me go to this one. You see all of these numbers over here. You're getting the Delta order flow per bar as well as the cumulative one. Okay, and as a matter of fact, for the Delta order flow, I would probably erase the cumulative data and just keep the delta. Okay. We're not at a level to be trading and using the sigma levels at this present time. So for now, when it's negative, it means there's more selling than buying. When it's positive, there's more buying than selling. That's why in this move over here, you see these positive numbers right there. And then quite telling on this one, this bar over here, even though it's positive and even it gives you a signal for long, notice the delta order flow for that particular bar. It's minus 38, then minus 181. So look at this. Sure enough, it happens to be the top. If you don't have the delta order flow, you would not have known that. But if you're paying attention to this, it's like positive, 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 positive. Oh, negative. Oh, triple digits. Oh, triple digits. Three bars in a row. You have these negative numbers, and 2 of them are actually going up. Could you have potentially closed it all the way up here at the top? Yeah, you could have. Okay, or at least close it somewhere in here rather than waiting for it to drop over here, because again, negative, negative, negative. Here's the first positive. Wait, why is it so low? Oh, it's 430. Okay. So this is from, and here, this is the other thing too, is that most of the time, unless there's major earnings, from 430 to 450, not much is going on anyway. So that's the time that you want to start shutting things down. Okay. So you'll see it here. Okay. 100s, 100s, 0, 420, great, 41. And then right here in this particular one, you have a negative delta. So it gives you an earlier indication when you have this information. It gives you an earlier indication that we may be seeing a turnaround. We may not. It may pop and continually go up, but okay, the nature of what we're trading, you want to be able to maximize your profits, right? The moment you see this, you know that this is a time to basically lock up your profits, even your runner. Okay, you've taken all your profits maybe over here, and you have one runner that keeps on running. And at this juncture, you probably want to say, okay, that's it, I'm done. Okay, so delta order flow helps with that. Okay. The bars are pretty self-explanatory. You can see it based upon, the size of the price movement. Okay, so the bigger the bullishness, the higher and bigger the bars, and the moment it starts to lose some of its mojo, it turns, a bright yellow, and sure enough, look at what happens. And it's at this point that it turns, the trend turns red. Okay. Could you have gotten out earlier? Yeah, right there. Could you have gotten out even earlier? Yeah, right there. When delta order flow is negative. Okay. So all of these things put together is the Obsidian Suite. It gives you the Autotrader plus the whole shebang. Think of it this way. If you had the chance of driving a Chevy Cruze versus driving a Lexus ES350, okay, which one would you choose? The ADDTS does its job. It gets you from point A to point B. But the Suite is really sweet to have because it gives you all these additional tools that will make you a more profitable trader. Now, if you're not going to pay attention to it, then it's not going to help you. But all of these things are there to help you. Alrighty. Now, there's another feature that I do want to bring up, and this is probably the last thing before I start opening up to Q&A. Okay. And that is, yeah, we don't have time for Fibonacci. If you have questions about Fibonacci pivots, linear regressions, prior day open, high, low, close, that's pretty self-explanatory. Bosom DR, I talk about it after 10:30 every single morning when I'm leading a live trading group. You already know about auto flow delta. Let's talk about Obsidian Playback. Okay, the Playback is also an auto trader. Okay, but it's different from the full one. Kyle, you want to tell us briefly in one sentence the difference between the two? What is the biggest difference?
It's pretty much the same thing. It just doesn't have the draw object, so you can run
Yeah,
replays on Playback faster without eating up all your memory.
yeah.
But for
So
people that want to trade like two different accounts, that's what you can use. If you use that in conjunction with DDTS, you can run two
right,
different accounts on the Autotrader. But
bingo,
don't run two instances of the same ADDTS.
bingo, bingo. Okay, so if you have the suite, you can do this. You can have NQ or MNQ running here with the regular ADDTS. And then if you wanted to trade the ES and also auto trade that, you can use a playback, and there will be no threading issues between the two. Okay. Because people would have problems when they use both of them, even in two different instruments. So if you use playback on one and then the regular on the other, you can actually technically have two auto trading bots. Okay. Now the original purpose for the auto trader was for you to be able to do playback, which is you go to tools, you go to what historical data, right? You go to historical data,
Yeah.
market replay, you'll choose either ES or NQ, whichever one it is. You can choose the dates that you want to download, okay? And then you can select the instrument, the start date, end date. I would probably do that by the tick, download that. And so with that, you can actually use the playback, which is faster, to back test it. And with that, you can do the different types of Orenkos. You can use different Heikin-Ashi. You can use the Heikin-Ashi volume trader. I think Terry, Lady
Just a
Terry.
note on the data, when you're downloading the data ticket, you would need the tick data for Orenko and minute
Yep.
for Heikin-Ashi. You could just download both of them. One is historical, one is market replay.
Oh, so for Heikin-Ashi, you do need the
Yeah, you need the minute.
okay, gotcha. So all right, download both, and that way you can back test each of the different tools. You can back test based upon your ATMs. So set up, okay, let me do MNQ on a 10,000 volume Heikin-Ashi, and let me do two contracts with this particular ATM, or maybe I'll try this one that Rakib uses. Okay, let me try one with confirmation filter, see what the result is. Let me try one with the trend filter, see what the result is. Oh, okay. How about if I have both the trend filter and confirmation filter? Does this allow me to avoid some of the choppiness? And some days you'll be like, wow, that's fantastic. I didn't lose as much as the other two setups. And then on another day, you'll be like, wow, I didn't make as much money doing this as I made with the other two setups. Okay, so test them out and see how it goes. But at the end, still, it'll depend on the trader's psychology, your level of nervousness, okay, because sometimes we get out too fast, okay, we don't trust the indicators, we don't trust the bot, and we sometimes get out way, 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 way too fast, okay, and many of us probably have done that. But as you back test these things, you'll be able to get a sense of which one works best, okay, for you. Now, one of the most consistent traders that you see on our website, on Discord, where's the winners, is Ronnie. Well, Don too. Actually, Vegas, BWiz, they've been just on fire. Okay, Rakib, He made 0 today. But at least he didn't lose, right? But this is Ronnie. Okay, 82% win rate. Okay, I never get 82% win rate, but he manages it. This is day 6 of his 30-day PA payout challenge. Okay, he's already at $1,400 plus. These are his other PAs that he trades with a copier. Okay, this is his win rate. This is the total trades that he gets into. That's it. And this is how much he makes. Okay. Now, why is he so consistent? Because this is exactly what he has done. He has back tested it on his own, one after the other on the weekends, one after the other, in order for him to figure out, this is my best setup based upon my trading style, based upon the hours that I trade, based upon, whether I am a scalper or sniper or intraday swinger. And because he found the one that suits him best, he is using the Obsidian Autotrader as a sword, and he is very skilled at it. Okay. You honestly cannot just take somebody else's idea, not test it, and just say, oh, let me try this. And then after 2 days, you go, oh, this is losing money. This sucks. It doesn't work. Let me try another guy. No. You need to back test it. And you need to understand what's going on in order for you to create the one that best suits you. Okay? So enough said in that regard. We are officially over. I think I went like 15 minutes over what I wanted to do, but we definitely covered the suite. On that note, just before we do Q&A, just keep in mind that every Friday we do have our meetings like this, but I'm going to start kicking up the trading teams for the 30-day challenge. If you're not familiar with the 30-day challenge, all of the new people here, you have received a link to the video of the recording. Please watch it. And I know that you have watched it because you will DM me with the required information for you to be part of it. And so far, the people who have been part of it have benefited a great deal and have had great success. We've had multiple people hitting PAs. Noel qualified for 2 PAs and she's ready for a 3rd one. Noel, is this the first time that you've qualified for a PA? If you're on.
Yes, it is the first time. I have failed hundreds of times, I'm sure. Gotten really close with $20 and blown it. So yeah.
So tell me how Obsidian and the 30-day challenge has helped you.
I think that, well, just it just gave me that framework, the boundaries and the accountability, as well as, and then just the last few weeks of sitting in on the live advanced, the NQ, some of the guys in there, I'm always listening and just it's kind of like everything was coming together and things are starting to make more sense. And as NQ Sniper or Fubu, they're calling out the levels, and Kyle, and they're explaining or Dawn why they go in or why they didn't, or just kind of giving and not even on purpose, but it was wonderful because then I was kind of connecting more dots as well as having the auto trader on. And so I could be more judicious about when I would turn it on or not have it on, or have an ATM, not have an ATM. So it just gave a better framework to let the auto trader do its best, because I was smarter, basically trying to figure it out. So I think, and then of course this week, sitting in with Wiki and trying to understand the levels and trading between, and things like that, have been, again, things are just kind of all coming. Everyone's kind of sharing this great information. And like I said, I'm fairly new, like I said, within the last 6 months of trying to trade and learn futures. So yeah, so it's been great.
And congratulations on that. You've worked hard, I know, because you've been in the live trading as much as you could, and you've been listening quietly as a mouse. And you have been learning. And you know what? Because you put in that amount of work, that's what was possible. Okay, so congratulations. Keep up the good work. And the next thing that you will need to make sure to be part of is when we talk about how to go from PA to our first withdrawal and how not to blow it. Okay, so because how you trade PAs is different than how you trade evals. So really excited, guys, at hearing different people reaching PAs. I've heard so many stories, both on voice channel as well as written testimony, and I am so glad that it's been helping so many of you. Okay, because if you can pass one PA, guess what? It's easy to pass the second and the third and the fifth and the 20th. Okay, all you need is patience and time, and you'll get there. Okay, and once you do that, you are way fast along the roadmap to financial freedom, and that is what we call the Obsidian Revolution. Okay, you're being part of that. It allows you to be part of that fourth quadrant. Okay, in our last video we talked about the fourth quadrant. Get there as quickly as possible. People take forever to get there. We can get there in a year, potentially. We can get there in a year, and we can do it through funded trading. Okay, we're leveraging other people's money in order to multiply our income through that. So glad to hear it. Let me see. Yeah, we're officially over. So if you want to leave, oh yeah, another one. The raffle. We're giving away $250,000 raffles again, just like before. So you know the drill. It's on the website. Read it, follow the directions, and for Thanksgiving, we want to be able to give out a little more. Last time I think we gave out 5. This time I'm hoping to give out 10. So let's get there, and if you can qualify on that 250K eval, man, oh man, that just it makes it even better. So exciting stuff. Q&A. So you're free to leave if you don't have any questions. You're welcome to stay if you want to just listen in, but this is your time. You've been patient in listening. What questions do you have regarding anything that we have shared thus far today?
CJ, any idea regarding how you would set up to only take advantage of quick scalps every time there's a signal?
Yes, that's what I'm working on right now, which is the working with ES, doing the Orenko 2, 4, and 8. And the 2S ES trading stop. I posted all the setups actually in if you go to the live trading room right here, you'll see, here we go. There's the posting. Okay.
Yep, I got those.
Yeah, so around 218. That's the setup that I use for quick scalps. So
Okay.
what I would normally do manually for quick scalps, I'm using those ATMs to do it for me automatically as well.
Okay.
Okay. So the key there, Chris, is finding that A+ setups. Okay. And in order to do that, Overwatch, Tick Strike is helpful, but you know, why pay $99 when a month when you can have this within Suite? It's right there. The Delta order flow helps a great deal. This flows right into it, and if you are, you know, in any of the trading rooms, you know, Wiki gives you the levels. Furu is fantastic in giving out the levels. Don shows you exactly how he trades and how he enters, and you know, it's really exciting to see him just be able to enter and do it, and do it in conjunction with the Autotrader. Okay, because you can do both. And once the Autotrader goes in, he goes, "Oops, let's take a look." And what does he do? He always sizes up when it's the right setup. And if it's not that good, sometimes he'll cut it quick, or he'll let it run and see if it wins. And you know, sometimes it does. So this is a setup for the quick scalps, Orenko 2, 4, and 8 on ES only. Okay.
What about NQ? You got the setups over there on the other one there too, right?
On NQ, it is 8/16/40. But the ATM is very different.
Yeah, I have the ATMs that you
Yeah,
posted.
the ATM is wider for NQ. So yeah, it's just, yeah. Who was it? I think it was Scott who said that trading NQ is like trying to wrestle a cheetah, you know, that is on crack. It ain't funny when he bites you, right?
Right.
It's great when it goes your way, but it is not funny when it bites you. And boy, oh boy, have I been bitten so many times. I would recommend. Oh, so I would recommend downloading Monica's ES setups.
Yeah,
When
they're
you click,
excellent. I use those.
perfect. When you click this, I have this open at all times, so I know which are the major supports that I need to worry about. Love the fact that this was a pivot level, although right here I made a mistake. And then on the NASDAQ, I use my Futures Pro, my original Futures Pro. And I look for the buy and sell signals on the 30-minute and then 10-minute and 5-minute charts. And, you know, they are on fire, you know. So this one is level to level from here all the way down to this level, quadruple bottom, and then all the way up. And then once it's stalled right here, all the way down to right that level, and it pretty much closed on that level. So, DR is something to talk about, but not today. Does that
So
help?
how do you integrate the what's it called? The one that has the very bottom of the screen. I can't see it clearly. Oh, the Overwatch. How does Overwatch impact when the Autotrader enters or not?
It does not impact it, but what
Okay.
it does help me with, for me, is when do I size up?
Okay.
Yeah. So when I see 30 plus all across, UVXY is like double digit down. That is classic A plus. That has not failed me yet. I
Okay.
would just go click, 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 and I would size up because, like for example, here we're bouncing down, and then it just starts that huge slide. Excuse me. And I'll be like click, 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 and I would just go down and keep watching the ticks, how many ticks there are, and the moment it hits 40, I'll watch the levels and decide I'll go in, I'll take a risk, I'll go in. And, obviously it's not going to go down constantly all day long. So, you got to use your experience in the different support resistance levels for you to say, hey, you know what, that's enough. Because you don't want to be overexposed either. Okay. And when you have a PA, you cannot do that. Evals, you can. PAs, you do not want to do that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
another
I've
topic for
lost PAs.
What's that?
I have lost PAs to
Yep.
mistakes, definitely.
Yep. Same here. And so we'll talk about that in another time and delve deeply into it. Good. Anybody else have questions?
I have a question. This is Mona.
Hey, Mona.
Hi, what specifically, and I'm very new, so forgive me if everybody else already knows this, but what is the computer looking for? What is the bot looking for to take a trade?
Oh boy.
You can be real general. I mean, you don't have to be
Let's-
real specific.
There's a lot. So let me give you the original thing here. Okay. I'm looking, so when there's buy and sell signals that pop up, I'm looking for 5 to 6 confirmations in order for me to enter. And we have tried to transfer that and translate that into Ninja Trader language so that the auto trader would do the same. Okay, so it's my algorithm as the foundation, Kyle just, supercharging it. And we have what we have, which it really can go toe to toe with some of the systems that are renting, that the monthly subscriptions are like $1,300. And we don't charge that.
Right. So I get that. Thank you so much. But is it looking for reversal patterns? Is it looking for more of an
Primarily a
upswing?
trend.
Okay,
Currently, it's looking for a trend. The
thank
reversal
you.
patterns are the PTC. Whenever you see PTC long or PTC short popping up, which is the diamond, okay,
Yes.
that's the reversal.
What does PTC stand for?
Pattern trend change.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. And welcome to Obsidian.
Thank you.
May you have many successes here.
Yeah, but pretty much what the bot's trying to do, it's trying to position you to catch a longer term trend. Where it gets in a little bit of trouble is when we're in a consolidation or a holding pattern. It's going to constantly try to get you in the right position to catch a trend. But it basically uses a lot of different parameters, CCI, ATR, a few moving averages, some momentum based calculations, a few other things to generate signals. But
That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to know.
sorry about that, my kid's at me. That's why I don't talk much.
That's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Molet and Ian Aranza, you're new here. Any questions from you? Dan? Greyhawk?
Hey, CJ, I have a question.
Sure.
And I'm not looking at it at the moment, so forgive me, but the one basically that says I think it's opt X or something, basically where will it switch positions on you? So like it'll sell you and then buy?
Good question. OpEx signal is something that you can use after the trade has entered.
Okay.
And when you click it, what it'll do is it'll exit when the opposite signal is flashed.
That's exactly what I want to know. Thank you.
Yep. And it will not re-enter. So the auto trader is turned off at that point. And that's helpful when you need to walk away. It's like, oh man, I'm in a good trend. Let me just click X op signal. I don't want the auto trader to just run unsupervised. So you use that.
Yeah, just keep note that that also goes by the signals that you have enabled and the filters you have enabled. So let's say you want to exit on the next unconfirmed opposite signal. You would have your signals selected and you wouldn't have any of your filters on. Let's say you wanted to exit on your next opposite signal that coincided with the trend and confirmation filter. You can have filter, trend filter, and confirmation filter.
Did you catch that? Because there's two other buttons that you can press, which is the trend filter. And
Yeah, I've seen
confirmation
those. I
filter.
just okay.
Right.
Okay.
Good, good. And the signal will be
So you want to
based
have
upon
those
that.
so you want to have those on or off?
It's up to you. If you're looking for the best exit, like the best price on exit, you'd probably want to have them off. But let's say we're in a trending day and you don't want to get out until you think the trend is finished, then you might want to have them on.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so do you have those on with the X op or
Yeah.
OpEx or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
these will filter the exit signal, just like they filter your
Fantastic.
entry signal.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Molette. And by the way, CJ, this is Bewis too. So that's my name and my husband's name. So by the way, regarding the XOP, I tried that, but what happened? What did it to me? How many times when I tried that when I first started? I did this XOP, but how many times I did that? When I turn that on, it will exit to me automatically, but it will enter the opposite too, right away. So
You gotta when you click exit on opposite signal, what it does is it disables the auto button. Like if you hit exit on opposite signal before you if you hit that before you get into the trade, then it's gonna enter because your auto button's enabled. So if you're on exit on opposite signal, make sure the auto's off. Now you see when CJ hits exit on opposite signal, it disables the auto button.
but well, the thing is probably because it's always on. So probably when I did that, it's probably because I always turned it on automatic. When I did the auto trader,
you wanna
it
wait till you enter a position to hit that, because when you hit that, it's gonna disable that auto button and it won't take any more trades. So CJ, if you click that, yeah, it disables the auto. So now it's not.
But when I did that the first, when I always set up my thing, I always turn that X up and I go to the left, try to click all the quantity safety, the confirm filter, all of this towards to the left, and turn on my auto and arm when I'm at work. So basically, all of them are on.
Yeah, you can't do that. You only use that when you're already in a position.
And that's why I never use it again, because I said, oh, I don't want to do it, because it always turned my opposite, the enter the opposite trade, which I don't want to. So, so now now I know. Thank you.
Or to be safe, have the semi on.
Mm-hmm.
Once it
Yeah, you can do that.
enters
You
the
could
trade,
enter once and then have exit on opposite signal on.
once it goes in, you click that.
You don't even have to wait for, like, if you just want to take one trade, you can have semi on and exit on opposite signal. So it'll enter.
Yeah.
And then when it, since semi resets, it won't enter again. It'll exit on the next trade. But if you're using auto, you got to wait till you enter a position to hit exit on opposite signal.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes
I'll
sense.
try. I'll try it again.
Good, good.
Yeah, the buttons are going to be changed up in the next update. I'm going to have enter on, exit on, and reverse on. Because there's going to be a new signal set and stuff. And then to get the more customizability, you'll have the ability to, if you want it to reverse on, exit on, or enter on.
Mm-hmm.
These are more advanced questions, but good. I'm glad. Okay. So we got 7 more minutes. If you want to still ask questions. Anybody have questions in regards to the customizability of the buttons? Other setups, like I haven't talked about Hikanashi. This is more of something that Kyle would talk about because he loves Hikanashi over Orenko.
I do have a question, CJ. This is Mona again.
Yep.
Is there a way to incorporate, and this might be a more of a thing that I talk with Kyle on tomorrow. Is there a way to incorporate MA crossovers?
Good question. Kyle?
I could in a future release.
Yeah.
If you want something like that, I could just take the moving average and program a signal into it.
That would be way cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you probably want some more confirmations on that. What I am doing, a new signal set's going to be derived from some super trend calculations, more for swinging and stuff. So with the moving average crossovers, depends on the time frame and stuff. But I guess I could program it in if it's something you're looking for.
Just one thing to keep in mind with the moving average crossover is that during chop, you'll get chopped up more than anybody.
I agree. That's I usually run like a 30-minute crossover.
Mm-hmm.
At least 30 minutes, yeah.
Right. Okay. So another way of handling that is if you're doing more of a intraday, use the Orenko 32.
Expand on it. 32 what?
So the parameters are 32, 60, and 80.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So download the historical data just in the past week, or actually you can pick a month ago, so that way none of it is something that you would remember. And not only can you trade with the Autotrader, okay, with the playback, you can manually close it and practice like real life. Because one thing I notice about the Autotrader is that if I have it in front of me and I'm watching it all day, I cannot just leave it by itself. I get involved.
Yeah, it's my problem too. I'll come in here and take your hand every signal it gives. And then they're the best signals of the day.
Exactly. Which is
Yeah,
funny
I
since
didn't run it at all today though. It was
we
too
have a
choppy.
super trend Autotrader. And that's not your style of trading. That's the funny part. But so keep in mind that this is highly customizable. Okay. You can even do ticks, by the way. Somebody trades manually on ticks. So this is how the ticks look like. Which actually, wow, it's quite pronounced. I like what I see. So it's highly customizable. You can have different setups for different instruments to make it as efficient as possible. I think NQ and ES, everybody has their own idea as to how they like the setup, including the ATMs. So you're just going to have to choose which one is better. I'm not going to be here and say, use mine and only mine because mine is the best. We're all in the same boat when it comes to that, because again, it is that highly customizable. And so you can make it do what you want it to do. But that's the beauty of it, is that through that, we have found a lot of brilliant traders who've been able to take their knowledge and make the Autotrader do what they wanted it to do, or make it mimic their trading as if they would do it manually, but the Autotrader allows it to mimic them doing it mechanically. So it makes it faster. So Scott, the ES trader, Scott, aka the degenerate, or is a futures degenerate, he's also very consistent. Last month, he had a winning day every single day except one day. Okay. And that's what he's been able to do with his setups on the Autotrader. Good. Hey, guys, it is 6 o'clock. I'm sure you are tired. I thank you so much for spending the time with us and going through this. We wish you the absolute best and great success in your trading. Okay, don't judge Obsidian by 1 or 2 days of great success, because there will be days where it'll be red. You need to really test it out and judge it. And I think the proof is in the pudding when you see people passing their PAs. You see people actually cashing out from their PAs and making it their income eventually. Scott already has made it into his full-time job, and he loves it. Every 2 weeks to be able to request a payout from it, and be able to work his own hours and be his own boss, and have the flexibility of being able to work at any time that he wants to, 23 hours a day, has given him quite a lot of freedom, and not having to deal with the office politics, or worst of all, being from Boston, the commute. So well, he's already there, having found that financial freedom. I mean, he's not a millionaire yet, but he's already at a position where he has the freedom to do what he needs to do. The reason I was able to stay in Tokyo for 5 weeks is obviously because my wife allowed me. She gave me permission. But my daughter was there, and I was able to trade the London market while I was there. So that's the flexibility that I have. You know, I could be a digital nomad, and I would love to go to Bali, but I don't think my wife would appreciate that.
Thank
So,
you.
if you have any other additional questions, please feel free to DM us or DM any one of the traders. So I encourage you, please, on the weekends is your time for you to back test, playback, practice your trading by using the playbacks along with the Autotrader, and keep practicing so that you can become, you know, a true ninja of trading futures, and using this tool to the best of its abilities that benefits you. So wish you the best on that, and let's get on the road to financial freedom, shall we? So you all have a good night now.
All righty. Thank you.